the other thing that I love about designers is there is no barrier to technology. You know what I mean? The web,
yeah, designers see
motion,
opportunity when they
print, advertising. I mean, designers think through it consistently. And
think of the old guys like Peter Seitz and Tim Larson and those dudes.
Yeah.
They were buying computers in '81. I
Yeah.
mean, they were paying $100,000 for computers that did nothing just because let's do something here. Like they laid down proper because they wanted to. And designers kind of not to stroke ourselves, but why not? But like designers do waste a lot of energy just trying to see what else is happening
all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and look at how many blogs are out there.
Yeah.
I mean, there were blogs.
Look how much money you've wasted on computers.
Yeah, right. Well, and technology, and if you look at, I mean, even the programs that people are learning, After Effects.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Final Cut.
And the bright and all the beauty of really the guy who's crafting and the artist and the guy who's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is different. It's not only a concept, but it's an execution,
Mm-hmm.
and these guys know how to do it, and it doesn't matter. It's media neutral, man. It's Switzerland.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't. You don't have to get into interactive. You don't have to get into web. You just do it.
Yeah.
And
it's the respect for the beautiful thing. Like that goes back to the art.
or
thing.
the experience.
Yeah.
And
Or
so
the respect for the beautiful experience, or however you define it.
and if that experience is motion, if that experience is a shape, a box, if that experience is an environment,
Mm-hmm.
if that experience is a business card, if that experience is a poster, if that experience is an ad, if that experience moves and grooves and goes on, you know, YouTube, if that experience is about clicks versus bricks,
Yeah.
you know, designers are there. They get the technology, they get the experience, they get the humanity, they get the craft. They get the the aesthetic, they get the theater, they get the emotion.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think designers. I think people are really, really gravitating towards designers and design thinking, you know, and it's collaborative. You know, I mean, our group, it's open, stuff on the wall, everybody's talking. You know, the work is the ego. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's not some guy with a title. You know, and is it the chief creative officer or the ECD or whatever?
And the work has a benefit of leaving you.
Right.
The work has a benefit of being outside of your body.
and it has a soul of its own, and
Yeah.
it becomes a soul, and it becomes this thing, and it becomes this spirit and this creativity and this expression, and that's what's guiding us.
Mm-hmm.
And we've always that's how we've always tried to build our culture. You know,
Yeah.
we bring in people, and we let them become who they are, but it's about the work, and there's a seat at the table for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're not. We try to keep it horizontal. It's not. The hierarchy isn't. It's not about hierarchy. It's about quality.
On the quality part, I was impressed and happy. I think it was a year or two ago when I finally stumbled across all of the motion graphics that you had done, and you'd kind of just dove in tooth first. You don't need to. This is your home page. You don't have to crouch down for us.
Who is
we should
that?
crouch down for you. Who's that woman? Who is that? Well, I've seen more compelling stuff on YouTube
Yes.
than
Well,
I've seen in movie theaters in the past couple of years, and I think it's because there's a purity of story there. So when I talk to young designers, like the motion graphics thing is a great. It's just a great time to do that because the barriers for technology are done.
Right.
And you can
do it on a Mac.
Yeah.
Well, even the work we've done with motion, where we've worked with Logan and
Mm-hmm.
Alex, he's doing it all on a laptop. He's doing it all in After Effects, and so
and it's crushing. I mean, it's just crushing the beautiful.
Well, think about it. You know, it used to be 10 people, $5 million worth of
SGI equipment
work. Right, used to go. I mean, all those places are defunct now. Now it's
Thank Christ.
It's
Thank God.
It's one designer, 24 years old on his laptop, making that stuff dance,
Yeah.
and
loving it. Like honestly, everybody watching it loves it. The guy who's making is loving it,
and the quality, is there, and again that goes back into the bucket of design. Why design is getting so much gravity right now.
Just because you brought it up, and I want this on film because I don't know the story. Logan is probably one of my favorite design companies of all time.
Absolutely.
Obviously they're probably my favorite company right now producing, but in the past 100 years, and just the restlessness that they have is really admirable. How did you meet Alex? And what was the circumstances when he was working for you?
Well, he was my first hire.
No kidding.
With Thorburn Design, right?
Not a bad one out of the box. Man.
And I guess he
not
set
a bad pick.
he set the trend. He set the kind of whole thing of great young guys, gals coming through the shop, doing great work. But I called a friend of mine, Scott Makla, and
the late great,
wonderful talent. And we started talking, and I said, "Listen, I need to hire someone. You know, the place is it's starting to kind of shake. I think one more person in here would be great." And he gave me this couple names, and one of them was Alex, and he was actually the first guy I called. And
you could understand a word. Whoa! Oh, gosh!
The
last time I put my foot there.
Well, you got to pull the table over. I'll hold it like this.
So call up Alex. He's Russian. You can't understand him.
Well, he came. I said I'll meet you at Dunn Brothers, and up the street, and he came with his portfolio, and you wouldn't believe this book. I mean, I just sat there going, "Oh my gosh!" I mean, right out of school.
I remember the book from school. Yeah.
Unbelievable. And we sat there talking for about an hour and a half, and there was a woman out in the corner, kind of a bushka kind of look, and after a while, I kind of put together the pieces of the puzzle. And I said, is that your mom? She'd driven him to the interview and waited for him, and he was very humbled but but I'll tell you, they became really good friends, and when we hired Alex, they were so grateful. They'd invite Krista and I over to their house, and there was Grandma, and they're Russian immigrants, and they gave up their entire life. He was an architect, she was a theater designer, and they brought Grandma, and he's got a sister, Catherine, who
worked for you as well.
I also hired as an intern. Who went to Hamlin as a writer. Of course, fabulous talent, runs in the family. But Alex was nocturnal, and
Russian vampire.
He still is. And so it was almost like having two shifts. I would work till like 5 or 6 at night, and from about 7, 8, 9, then him and I would hang out. And then I'd come back home, and he would take off, and I'd hear the car door slam about 6:37 in the morning. So he would drop the discs off and the work off, and then I'd go out to the car, pick it up, go down to the studio, work on it. So it was this kind of
I remember
24-hour days.
I vividly remember those days because I remember hanging out with Alex like at 2 in the morning. At the studio.
He's still that way. I mean, you call him in L.A. for at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He's just getting into work, and that it's just the way his body works. And but what a genius!
But it really cuts down on the phone calls. Like you think all the time you spend emails and phone calls at 2 in the afternoon. It's just crushing. Crushing.
He's done some, and there's some great, PSYOP and Brand New School and Logan, and I mean, there's some great, but he's just such a pleasure to work with.